It's one of the greatest films of all time, from the golden age of cinema. The 1959 American spy thriller North by Northwest is quintessential Hitchcock.
I know, I look vaguely familiar.
Yes.
You feel you've seen me somewhere before.
Mm-hmm.
Funny how I have that effect on people. It's something about my face.
It's a nice face.
Hollywood leading man, Cary Grant, plays the suave Roger Thornhill, who's falsely accused of murder and is being hunted by police and enemy agents during the Cold War era. This timeless tale of intrigue and suspense has been successfully transported onto the stage. From humble Aussie roots, this local production has toured Australia and the world, and after a pandemic hiatus, is back home, ready to thrill audiences in Sydney.
Your character, even when things are going really wrong, he's still pretty suave. Do you relate to him?
No, I have much more trouble acting like things are cool. I'm far more a sweatier person than probably Roger Thornhill under pressure. But he's someone who recovers really well. He has an enormous amount of self-confidence as, you know, those sort of madmen type guys that were advertising guys in New York had at that period of time. And Cary Grant has in the movie.
Well, I'd invite you to my bedroom if I had a bedroom.
How awkward for you.
But we've tried to play our take on him, well, my take on him is just a little bit more of a man who thinks he's doing really well, but every time he thinks he's ahead of the game, the rug keeps getting pulled out from underneath him, so you just see him just fray a little bit more, and the shirts get a little bit more crumpled, and the hair gets a little bit more disheveled, and he thinks, now I'm okay, and then something else goes wrong, and he starts to lose his cool as it goes on a bit more and has to just solve the problem if he can.
Burt Labonte plays the elusive Philip Van Damme.
Oh, he's evil. You don't get to play those roles very often. I don't. I'm always playing the teacher or the dad or the lecturer. So playing the evil villain, which is kind of like the formative villain for a lot of the Bond films, is a lot of fun. It's fantastic.
The cast and crew have relished working with theatre director Simon Phillips.
As soon as somebody says the name Simon Phillips, you immediately think Muriel's Wedding, Priscilla Queen of the Desert, the musical, amazing MTC productions which have redefined Shakespeare for me at least. I just think he's one of the most exciting producers / directors of theatre in the country. Everything he does is an event, and I think that's probably what drew him to Hitchcock, was to bring that experience, take away some of the fustiness of it and make it live again. And I think that's what people will get when they come to see the show. Being immersed in a Hitchcock world. That's what we hope for.
Despite it being a Cold War thriller, this show is ultimately a comedy.
The last few years has just been so stressful and emotionally draining for people. This is absolute joy in the theatre. It's thrilling, it moves really quickly, it's funny, it's beautiful, it's sumptuous, it's romantic, and really surprising.
The creative team were determined to not take any shortcuts and replay Hitchcock's original film on stage. They actually wanted to recreate the story using a combination of traditional theatre techniques and modern technology. And it was a challenge, but a challenge they gladly accepted.
It's so famous, the crop duster scene. Mount Rushmore is so legendary on cinema. How do we redo that on stage and recreate that? So it's done with modelling on the side, and it's done with camera work. So it's almost like reshooting it every show and every night. And so that's what makes it really exciting. And I think people know, I think there's a sense of like, how are they going to do this? And when it does happen, it makes you giggle and laugh, but then it was like, this is terrific. So the act of theatre about how this team is created to get away with it and to make it so exciting still is really wonderful. It has to be seen to be believed.
Everything that you see on stage, every image that you see, every set piece that Roger has to move through in the show is created live by a cast of 12. So it is non-stop for the cast, non-stop for Roger, and it's having everything created live in front of you that creates that suspense and also that impetus that keeps moving forward.
This isn't the first Hitchcock to be transferred to the stage, and perhaps it won't be the last. Besides, the creative team behind North by Northwest have other favourites too.
This would be up there with them, but I'm also a very big fan of Vertigo.
I like Psycho for as far as thrills go, but I think overall my favourite Hitchcock might be Dial M for Murder.
I would say The Birds. Yeah, I think it was one of the first kind of thriller. It was one of the first films that kind of scared the crap out of me as a child.
I don't know any other Hitchcock like I know this one. I've lived and breathed this show for 7 years. So this is nearest and dearest to my heart for sure. But I am a fan of The Birds because I find it extremely creepy. But I have no idea how you do that on stage. I think that's beyond me.